Good evening, and how are you tonight? I have a little bit things to clean up here before we get started. My day has of course been full of important business, so just indulge me a moment. I seal this up. This is nothing to be concerned about, of course, my dear. This is merely a trifle. Meaningless letter. Now, let's talk about why we're here tonight. This beautiful deck that I have borrowed this evening is the star of tonight's show. As you can tell, it is quite blinged out for a deck. Even on the box, there's quite a bit of gold plating. And if you want to look at these background card backs, these beautiful intricate circles for you to enjoy. This deck tonight is called the Golden Botticelli Tarot. This is on low from my friend Leland. He's been my friend for quite a long time and has watched quite a few of these videos and given me some feedback. And he's my Dungeons and Dragons DM for the moment. And we were having an amazing time. And so during one of the games, he said, listen, I have this fantastic tarot deck, and you can borrow it if you want to do a review of it. And just flipping through it, you can see how incredibly ornate, it's a nice word, this Botticelli deck is. Although my first impression, of course, was, my goodness, this is so extra. But that's Leland for you. He loves the fans. So, Botticelli is an artist from Italy. He has done an amazing amount of work that is still famous to this day. This deck was once again made by Scarabeo. He's done the Santa Marta deck that we've reviewed, and I've seen quite a few other decks by him. They are unbelievably gorgeous. He's very, very good with creating decks. This one specifically says that it was made in Italy, and I have no doubt of that. So, our fool here, even the dog is sort of twisted. More of the line of thought of the sort of horrendous, deformed kind of fool. Here you have the Magician. You can see some gold plating in the book behind him, some figures and so on and so forth. This is so extra. It's so amazingly gorgeous. The High Priestess, I think this is Mary that they have here as the High Priestess. It's just unbelievable. This is like the hologram card of tarot decks. The Empress, of course, is just utterly gorgeous. And the Emperor even has a sparkling crown atop his head. Now, this deck is in several languages, like most of his are. English, Spanish, Italian, French, and German are listed on the corners of every card. And I suppose I should also mention that that is the same way with the book. You have all of those languages here in the Little White Book. Now we only have the Little White Book, we don't have anything else. We have a nice, interesting tarot spread called the Solomon Star to play with at the end of this review. And the interpretations are very simple. I will take the Emperor, for example. No, this is the Hierophant. Oh, so shiny. The actual creator of the deck is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mispronounce this. Atanas, Alexandrov, Atanassov. Yeah. And Sandro Botticelli is the guy, of course, who is the artwork. Because we're still in this artwork from absolutely gorgeous medieval works. This is, of course, what this is. This is like a medieval style deck. So the Hierophant we have. Clemency, patience, spirituality, traditionalism, excessive moralism, obscurantism. So there's not a lot of explanation for the cards. They themselves are the star of the show here. The booklet takes a definite backseat to that. Just looking at these decks and this card is just really unbelievable. The shine and the shimmer. The lovers look like the guy is just stealing her off away from him, and the chariot is very much what you would consider a standard chariot imagery. Surprised that we actually could find some of his artwork like that. Justice, so much sparkle, so much shine. She has sort of a expression of apathy? Apathy. That's a good word for what she's got going on. And then we have the Hermit who's naked. He's got a little bit of a robe thing going on, but he's mostly naked. It's not typically the card you think of being naked when you think of naked cards. The wheel, of course, completely golden in the background with the 3 people on it. The angel atop, sleeping man, a suffering man, and a thoughtful man. This is the Strength card. I just drew lions really weird back then. I'm not entirely sure how much they actually saw lions, but yeah. But you can definitely see that she is taming this lion without any sort of violence, although there's quite a bit of ribs on that lion. Again, we have a lot of nudity here. So you've got a lot of shine, and glam, and sparkle, and fantastic imagery here. But also a lot of nudity. So maybe not something I would share with the kids. Maybe not so much. Or maybe if you want to share some nudity with your children because you don't think that it's unnatural and it shouldn't be shameful, that's up to you. This is a woman holding the body of, one can only assume, a dead son, or, yes, he looks young enough to be her son. Amazing concept of death. Temperance, we have a woman pouring water into a little saucer. Solid imagery. And for the devil, we just have an adorable little pan. Okay. The tower is literally exploding. It's like somebody's house. I don't know if it's so much a tower. It's just amazing that you have enough imagery from his artwork that you can come up with something. The star is actually 3 women, although it definitely embraces the fact that the star card is normally lots of nakedness. They are not technically naked, they have some sheer cloth on them, but it's a sheer cloth. Lots of nudity. The moon has an angel, which I've never seen the moon and an angel before. It's usually a darker card. You do have sort of a lobster scorpion thing at the bottom. But other than that, I feel like this is a fairly happy card for a moon card. And the sun looks like a mother and some siblings. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Just 2 females, 1 younger, and a male in the middle. Maybe she's breaking them from fighting. Who knows? More nudity. We have people coming up out of their graves for judgment. She's naked. She's coming up out of the ground from the looks of it, not having been dressed into a coffin. You have the angels blowing their horns atop. And the World card, which is a very famous picture of Venus, and probably one of the artist's most famous works. And it is the front of the box card. Oh, gorgeous. All right, so let's go through some of the minor arcana. King of Chalices, called chalices and not cups in this. There's so much bling on this card, you can't really tell the difference between his crown and the background gold. That's a lot of bling when a crown gets lost in it. Same thing with Queen of Chalices. So much bling on this card that her crown gets lost in it. I really like, the tones in this one with the horse's saddle. It's pretty interesting. This is when we really did have like knaves, and instead of pages they call them knaves. So the artwork definitely works for the traditional tarot, like kings, knights, knaves, and that sort of thing. Considering this is the time era where you have found those things. Okay. And you have a woman holding a baby for the Ace of Cups. Sort of peak beginning of emotions. An angel kissing a man for the Two of Cups? That's pretty interesting. Talk about some really cool interpretations. Got some wands. It's a very interesting wand stick thingy. It actually kind of looks like he's holding a plant. Same with her. And they're definitely calling them wands, not staves. I'd expected this deck to call them staves. Knave of staves. Knave of staves. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. This is interesting. You have a centaur for the Seven of Wands. Interesting interpretation of that particular card. You know, it typically means movement. God, this looks like Jeff Ramsey from Achievement Hunters. The beard. For the gaunt face. Sorry, but I'm kind of rushing toward a card that I always take a look at every single deck, and that's the Three of Swords. Because it's just this very strong meaning. Here we found it. She is dragging this dude by his hair. He's obviously in trouble of some nature, and I don't know if that's his wife or his mother. Maybe she's still, he's praying. He's praying. He has screwed up. It's very interesting. Just, yikes. Typically, that one means separation or heartbreak or something to that effect. The fact that he's got this woman pulling by his ear and dragging him along, he is obviously cheated of some nature or done something wrong or ill. Ooh, I like this. The Knight of Swords is pretty fancy. And this whole deck is fancy, but that one's pretty cool. And Botticelli knew how to do some artwork, huh? The Six of Swords is always an interesting card. It's always about like transitioning. This is interesting. So all the swords look sort of Eastern, like European style, and this is more like an Eastern sword that she's got here. When you would find more of like a Moor kind of a sword. And there we have Pentacles. Shiny, shiny coin that he's holding. It's pretty cool. And this one you can actually see his crown because he's got like a little red topper to it. So less lost, although continues to be lost in the Queen of Pentacles. It's hard to see her crown. Again, I just love the horses in this series. The lion, not so much, but the horses are really good because they spent more time around horses, probably. So another card that I typically like to look at is the Ten of Pentacles because it's usually some sort of building. This is actually really nice. You have a gorgeous, nicely done house. Four of Pentacles is usually some sort of miser. Yep. Perfect one for it. And sparkles, sparkles. The Seven of Pentacles is usually some sort of pregnant lady. It's pretty good. I love this. So the Two of Pentacles is a bunch of satyrs. Cute little satyrs. So, we have gone through the deck, found the cards that I really wanted to share with you, all of the major arcana, and some of the minor. Now we'll do our reading. So the Star of Solomon is pictured at the very, very beginning of the book, but it's not explained until later in the little thing. It says, 1 is an important master of the recent past. 2 is the influence of the past on the present. 3 is an important aspect of the present. 4 is help or obstacles the querent may encounter, issues that must be dealt with, the problems to overcome. 5 is an important aspect of the near future. 6 is advice, and 7 is final judgment. Interesting. Okay, so let's shuffle. Now, the cardstock, pretty standard, even though, you know, the rest of this deck is ridiculously glam. They went standard for like the actual heaviness of the cards, unlike some other decks where you will have trouble shuffling. These you have no trouble shuffling at all. Since this is not my deck and I need to return it, I'll be very careful about how I shuffle it. I don't want to hurt any of these cards. But there is a suggestion in the book about shuffling it 7 times and turning the card every time you go to shuffle so that you get reverse cards as well as upright cards. And then, after the 7 times, stack into 3. What was the last bit? Not sure. Okay. Guess I missed that one. Or maybe it was at the front. No. I've lost the explanation that I read earlier. Shuffle all 78 arcana 7 times, turning parts of the deck in half each time so that the end some of the cards are upright and some are upside down. Divide the deck into 3 smaller decks and choose one. Shuffle again as before and choose 7 cards and lay them down. So we're supposed to pick from these 3. We'll pick this one. We're supposed to put these aside. They're not important apparently at all. And then we're supposed to shuffle another 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we choose the 7 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me slide these back a little bit. And 7. Okay. Now to read. So this is card number 1. We have the 4 of Swords, and since I'm facing them toward you, this is right side up. Let us see. An important aspect of the recent past regarding the initial question. 4 of Swords. Discreet vigilance, self-control, precaution. Okay. 2. And we have the 3 of Swords. Maybe I didn't shuffle as well as I thought. Although sometimes I think that like having a bunch of the same suit in a spread is pretty accurate. Only because the suits go through a story, and if that's your life at that point, it might follow the same story. Well, this one's going a bit backwards. Personality conflict, affliction, ups. So this is 3, an important aspect of the present. We have the 2 of Swords. Definitely didn't shuffle as well as I thought. Equilibrium of forces. Search for help. What is given is return. What is given returns. 4 is the center card. This is help or obstacles that the querent could encounter that must be dealt with, the problems to overcome. We have, oh, we have the Tower. Oh look, things falling apart is the obstacle. It's a very good obstacle. I mean, it's very obstacle-y, so yes, that's definitely accurate. All right. And we have the Star. Naked ladies. Naked ladies. Oh, let me read you the description of the tower. Since we're here. Pride. Confusion. Disorganization. Collapse of mistaken convictions, warning signs. This is confidence in the future. In the future card. Very nice. Very nice. Positive presentments, bright idea, good advice. So, advice the querent can realize. Oh, it's upside down. So we have a Knave of Pentacles, and let's read a reverse, shall we? We have a Knave, no less. Bad acquaintances. That is the advice. That is advice. The advice is bad acquaintances. Handle your bad acquaintances. Advice to get rid of them. Oh, and a reversed 10 of Pentacles. Gracious. Gracious, 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 gracious. Renunciation of personal advantages. And that would be final judgment in the near future. So, let's see. We have discreet vigilance, self-control, and personality conflict, and equilibrium of forces. We have the Tower, where things fall apart. We have the Star, with belief in the future. We have bad acquaintances, and a renouncement of... Where's that again? The renouncement. What did we renounce? What did we renounce? What did we renounce? Of personal advantages. So, here we have the gorgeous, ultra blinged out, not only blinged out, but like Renaissance artwork. Like, this is an extra deck. If you were to take this among other decks, they would feel underdressed. This is a absolutely fantastically gorgeous deck for collecting gorgeous decks, or to use as a splendid reading, so that your person, either you or the person you're reading for, is dazzled by all the gold and the beautiful artwork. And of course, this is from our gentleman who we can't seem to get away from because we love his decks. And so my recommendation to final is don't use it around children unless you are accepting the fact that they're going to see naked people. Take very good care of this deck if you do get it, because it is so pretty. You're not going to want to see these things all bent up and nasty. Or dropped in water. Ew, that would be nasty. So, take care, take care, take care, take care, take care. And this deck will be beautiful for many years to come. Fairly accurate reading for my situation at hand. Can't blame that. The cards apparently love to be on camera. They are dead on every time they show up. My deck's somebody else's deck. I used a nice, beautiful white for our table today because nothing was as fancy as these cards, so you might as well just let them shine. And again, the book is completely outshined by these beautiful cards, so they didn't try. Just gave you some very simple explanations, one spread, a little bit of information, and then they put it in several different languages. Thank you for watching my video. If you would like to watch more of my videos, please subscribe. Like if you liked it, comment if there's anything that you are interested in commenting about. And if you want to know what's coming next, and mind you, it's been a very difficult choice on what's coming next because I just got something in the mail today that I was super excited about, but we'll have to talk about it later. We're not going to do a standard tarot deck. This is called Tarot Dice. I'm gonna review it for next time just because it's so weird. I can't wait to play with it. I have opened it up and looked at it, so I know what it is, but I want to play with it on camera and show you guys this interesting thing from all the way in 2002 that has never taken on, but is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Thank you for watching.